What's going on, guys? Battle Nation's Emperor here, back today with another video. And today, guys, we're back, of course, in the sandbox. And today we have a bit of a fun video, something we're looking back on, covering a top 3. And it is for better and for worse, because we're doing top 3 promotional units we want to see back, and top 3 promotional units we do not want to see back. So, of course, this is purely based off the judgment of me and my friends. So if you disagree with this, you are more than welcome to leave your counter arguments in the comments below, because it's very often it could be correct. But it's just what we came up with, and I thought it would be a good presentation. I would love to hear your favorite 3 and worst 3 that you would not like to see come back. But with all that out of the way, one last thing, just wanted to say, with the next major update on the way, we don't of course know exactly what it is, but it's probably going to have something to do with guild. So if you are in need of guild, you're more than welcome to join the Empire, linked in the description down below. We have competitive and casual options. So of course, whether you are a maxed out player looking to do everything and get every single aircraft, or just somebody more casual looking to just kind of have fun and chill at your own leisure, we have options for you. And with all that out of the way, let's start this list off right, in the right way, starting off with the unit we want to see come back, and that of course is the Deadeye. Whew. And look, let me tell you, the Marksman, this guy is amazing. I love the Marksman. He is a cool sniper. He does great damage. He looks so cool. And despite being a pretty hefty premium unit, I don't care. I will still get one on my main every single Battle Nations, simply because he looks cool. He has the aura to him, and you can see why you'd buy him. Now, if you thought the Marksman looked cool, get a load of this guy. Exclusive unit, that was right. Limited edition, of course, all these units were advertised as limited edition, then were probably re-released later in a secret vault. But nevertheless, they came out as limited edition. Of course, this guy's no different. And as you can see, available for limited time, exclusive unit, and my goodness, was he cool. He did amazing damage, and he had aura to him, let me tell you. In my opinion, a lot of other people's opinion, probably the coolest looking sniper in the game, and one of the best damage dealers. I mean, you're going to pushed hard to try to find somebody who could do this level of damage. So absolutely beautiful. Oh, and not to mention these stats. So when you add the status effect chance right there, that is insane. So again, love this guy. Definitely a great guy to start off on. Continuing right along, we have a negative promo unit. And of course, I love all the units of Battle Nations, but some of them didn't really hit the mark in my opinion. This one is one of them. Very divisive unit, and that of course is the Imitation fragment, also known as the copycat fragment. So, as I imagine most of you guys know, this guy right here is the Ancient Construct. He is very well known for, of course, dropping the Dexter fragment and the Sinister fragment, combined for, of course, a 6% drop rate between the two. Now, Z2 decided at one point it would be a good idea to release a limited edition fragment, which was literally just a copy of both of them, that you could buy with nanopods. Now, of course, they advertised this in promos as well, pushing that, theory as well. Some people were like, hey, I'm glad I don't have to farm for an AC. Other people were like, well, that was the whole point of the fragment. So a lot of people felt that, especially people who had a lot of Dexter fragments and Sinisters, as you can imagine, felt kind of betrayed. Honestly, I don't want to have that rush again. In my opinion, the Dexter fragment and his drops are some of the coolest units in the game. Dexter and Sinister. A 6% chance every time you fight this bad boy right here. Obviously not this one. This is actually Experiment 17, a golden version of the AC. But nevertheless, when you fight him, because actually he does have a chance to drop both, and when you fight the regular, AC, the one we fight constantly, both of them have a 6% chance to drop either one of the fragments. And I just think, the fragments should say to that. I think buying them is kind of cheating the system, They're RNG based, and I feel like they should at least stay that way. And, we're not against ancient tech. We'll get into that in a second. But by all means, absolutely love these guys, and I just wouldn't want to diminish their value. So I say Imitation fragment, more like copycat fragment. I'm out, but if you disagree with that, that's perfectly fine, of course. Would love to hear counter arguments. And continuing right along with, as I was saying, totally not against ancient tech at all. One that I would totally love to see come back is, of course, the Ancient Sentry. This beautiful bad boy right here. And that's right, he was a promo unit, a trainable ancient tech unit, if you will. But unlike the, previous iteration, which, was literally just copying off something that already existed in the game and that fans had grown to love as a boss drop. This guy was completely unique, obviously based off the Ancients, right? Nobody's doubting that. But at least got his own flow, at least got his own idea, and you can kind of see what he's going for, you know what I'm saying? So by all means, I think he had a better advertising, I think he had a better marketing, and by all means, I just think he was a better unit. He wasn't the greatest damage dealer in the world, but he did some alright damage, and he's had some alright stats. But me personally, I'm just not going to be, going crazy one way or the other. Me personally, though, I do like the concept of spending the Ancients. Just the reason I, again, don't like the copycat fragment is because it takes away from that luster of, the lucky drop. Whereas this guy is a brand new addition to the ancient lore, just like Dr. Vogel. You know what I mean? You care about it because it's something new, whether it be, a flying Dexter fragment or, this little cute robot that's like, a little ball, floating ball, whatever, right? But if you're just copying something that already exists, it's like, come on, man, At least that's how I feel and a few other people feel. But again, you're more than welcome to disagree. But yeah, I would love to see the Ancient Sentinel come back right here. I'm sorry, the Ancient Sentry and the Ancient Sentinel, I guess. So yeah, AS and AS. One's a troop. One's the next boss we're going to have to fight in the Ancient Ruins. And yeah, can't wait for both of them to come back. One's guaranteed come back. This guy is obviously coming back. But the promo unit, well, we can hope. I certainly hope. Continuing right along to a unit I would also not like to see come back. In fact, I wouldn't like to see it come back. I gave it its whole video dedicated to how much I didn't want to see it come back a little bit ago. I'll leave it linked in the description down below if you want to go check it out. But I'll also go ahead and give him a brief, quick view over here. But if you want more information, of course, you can go check out that video linked in the description below. But in short, it is, of course, the weapons technician. Yes, this old-looking guy right here, I despise him because he, in short, introduced two brand new elements into the game that, when applied, could one-shot the AC with the Mega Tank. Insane stuff. Let me tell you, this guy was freaking overpowered on drop. Of course, they nerfed him right away, but even still, he was pretty good. And for being a promo unit, I think that's just way too broken. I, of course, am a person who would love to have limited edition units back in the game, but I understand for that to be the case, you can't have him to be too overpowered. This guy was the definition of overpowered. Either you make him extremely broken or he's just useless. I mean, there's a certain, gaming company that does that, but our Battle Nations, they don't do that. So I just don't see this guy doing it. I just don't see him making the cut. I hope he doesn't make the cut. Maybe he does. But personally, I would not miss him at all. In fact, I would be grateful if he didn't come back. But that's just my take on it. Of course, you can watch the video if you want more information on it. But if you disagree, let me know how you'd balance them. That's just my biggest concern. Continuing right along, we have... I could go ahead and give the last good one, but we're going to go ahead and switch it up. And I'm going to go give the last bad one as well. Just so we can end it off on a high note. I think that would be pretty cool. Also with that nice little advanced concrete right down there. So, with our last bad troop, we of course have the Unicorn Trooper. And hear me out. A lot of people like this guy. I personally think he was late stage Battle Nations. He was never going to last long term in the game. And that's just not because he's overpowered, which, yes, he's extremely overpowered. But also, he didn't cost nanopods. He was a limited edition premium unit, but he cost resources, which, before you go, oh my gosh, best thing ever, everybody should do it. It just wasn't sustainable. I mean, I think even Z2 knew it. It was kind of like one of the last things to do, along with giving everybody unlimited nanopods, to just kind of, send us off. And I think the concept of releasing a unit, anything like this, it makes everybody think, the promo units are a joke. It was way too overpowered. They just don't make money off it. There's no real incentive for it. And I just think it's weird. So personally, I think maybe a callback to him, or maybe even a completely nerfed version, as for, maybe just, for somebody who just wants to have the aesthetic of them. Absolutely. But to bring this guy back, I don't believe so. Me personally, I don't want to see that. But again, maybe if you completely rework him, I just hope we don't see him in the stage he was released in. Because that was late stage Battle Nations, and that was never going to work out long term in my opinion. And finally, we have something that a lot of people hold dear. And if you believe I'm just cruel and, don't like people who don't spend nanopods, which one I don't, because I like to spend my nanopods very sparingly, so I like anything that's free. There is one other unit, literally only one more limited edition promo unit, that did not cost nanopods during the original Battle Nations run. And do you know what that unit is? Well, I'll gladly tell you it, my friend, because it's the last unit on this list. And that, of course, is the Boom Bus. Yes, this guy, this icon of Battle Nations, literally driven by Zoe and Perface, made by both of them, cooked up in Zoe's lab, available for a very short time at the very beginning of Battle Nations. And guess what? Never brought back. It wasn't brought back for a secret vault, another event. It truly did stay limited edition the entire time. In my opinion, literally just perfect. Like, absolutely perfect. The definition of a limited edition promo unit. Was it a little bit strong? Yeah. And you might say, wait a second, why are you okay with the Boom Bus being a, non-nanopod limited edition unit when you had a problem with the Unicorn Trooper? Well, that's pretty simple. The Unicorn Trooper was a joke. Nobody took him seriously. He wasn't balanced properly. And he just, I'm sorry, he just doesn't look like he belongs in the game. He looks weird. He kind of looks like the TF2 units. But the TF2 units have the excuse of they're a partnership with Valve. When Valve offers you a partnership, you do not say no. So I understand. You get the chance to add them to the game, you certainly add them to the game. However, this was not anywhere near the same situation. This was a case where they were completely in control of it, and they just still made him look like this. I don't know why they made the Unicorn Trooper look like this. I just don't feel he fits in the game. And besides just being completely broken, he just throws off the wrong vibes. Again, no real reason for him to exist either. But the Boom Bus, man, it's not nostalgia, I swear. I swear it's not nostalgia. But hear me out, bro. It makes sense. I mean, I could totally see this thing existing in the Battle Nations universe. If Madrona came out tomorrow and said, hey guys, weekend Boom Bus, this weekend only, my goodness, could you imagine the chaos? That would be so funny. Imagine they don't even prep it. They literally just one weekend say, hey guys, Boom Bus is back, 48 hours, go. Oh, we would lose our heads. It would be pretty funny, though. That'd be a pretty funny prank to pull. Nevertheless, that is my ending for this video. Guys, if you made it all the way through this list, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching this list. If you enjoyed it, please consider dropping a like down below and subscribing to the channel if you are new. If you have any questions, suggestions, any ideas, any comments, did you agree with this list? Did you disagree with it? Are there any units that you thought should have been included that weren't included? Do you disagree with any of my picks? Did I pick some good units that you thought were bad, or bad units that you thought were good? Also, what about this area, man? Like, it kind of reminded me of the Ancient Ruins, and it is just fun to mess around with. So yeah, I threw a lot of crazy stuff in that you would never find in an actual game. Messed it up like I normally do. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching this Battle Nations episode. I greatly appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, of course, do all the things that were already mentioned. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, have a great rest of your day.